Good morning.
Good morning.
And hello to all of you joining us online later. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Westside Congregation in Rio Rancho. I am David Kuhn, Service Associate for today. Our speaker is the Reverend Dr. Nancy Hitt, our consulting minister. Today is the first day of our official stewardship season, which we observe every October. We have a lot of information to share with you today, as well as some hands-on opportunities to participate in illustrating the impact that Westside has in your life and how that motivates you to support it. That is an all-hands-on-deck sort of service. If you are viewing our service online, there will be opportunities also for you to contribute to our community efforts. So stay tuned. Our service is based on Principle 3, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregation. That may sound like a departure from the financial focus of many stewardship campaigns, but we assure you that it is not. We hope that by the end of our time here today, we will have a better sense of the role stewardship plays in our spiritual growth, both personally and in our congregation. Our thanks today to Bram and Roxy Kastek for greeting us, to Steve Polani for our videotaping, and to Dana Stanford for monitoring our sound system. If you are new to Westside, either in person or online, we invite you to contact Reverend Nancy at ministeruuwc@gmail.com with any questions that you may have. Here are the announcements for the week. Thank you for ongoing donations to Storehouse West. Our indoor basket in the social hall and outdoor bin on the patio are filling up very nicely with non-perishable food for those who need it. Thank you too for your old newspaper for Rio the dog and her owner. Rio the dog and her owner appreciate them. Our church yard sale is scheduled for October 22nd and 23rd from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Our Social Justice Committee is sponsoring this as their fundraiser for this year. If you have donations for this event, you may bring them with you on Sunday mornings. Jay, Kane, or Reverend Nancy, or Steve Polani can help you store them in either our sheds or indoors, depending on what they are and where we have room. Please allow enough time to get them where they need to go. If you have donations that you need help getting here or unloading or cannot manage on a Sunday morning, please contact Jay Kane to arrange an appointment. Check this past week's newsletter for Jay's email and address, or speak to her on Sunday morning. We will also need volunteers to help set up and staff the event, along with price setting. So let Jay or Nancy know if you'd like to help with that. Now we cannot close without addressing the quilt on the wall behind me. Andrea Sutherland made this for the Stewardship Committee to raffle off, as well as their annual fundraiser. Tickets for the quilt are $2 each, or 3 for $5. We will begin selling raffle tickets at next Sunday's service. The information will also be on our website and on our Facebook page. So you can pass the word. People can send their name and money in via PayPal or on our website. Again, by next Sunday, October the 10th. There's one other announcement. Judy needs 3 people to move some stuff to the social hall and to the shed. I guess that has to do with donations for our fundraiser. Yeah, Judy.
For medical reasons, I may not be here at the end of the service, and Laurel will show you where the things are. I've shown her.
Okay.
Thank you. I may be here. I'll try.
All righty. Are there any other announcements? Okay. All right. And thank you for the contributions that you make. Please stand as you are able and join us now in lighting our chalice. The words are in your bulletin or on your screen. Our chalice flame illuminates our minds, our hearts, and our community. May you respond to what we learn with increased insight and determination. May we work together for the greater common good, ever mindful of our planet's resources, our personal resources, and our congregation's resources. Shalom and amen. Let us continue by affirming our aspirations. Life is a gift. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another. Shalom. And please open your hymnal for our opening chorus, number 370. All people that on earth do dwell.
Okay, really good news. Guess who's back next week?
Oh,
Carol will be back, and then we will sing all the verses of all the songs. But today, we're just going to warble with me. So we will sing the first verse of All People That on Earth Do Dwell. All people that on earth do dwell, sing aloud with cheerful voice. Let hearts in exultation swell. Come now together and rejoice. Thank you. Please be seated. I invite you now to join me in a moment for centering, to put down anything you may be holding, to uncross ankles, knees, wrists, to relax against the back of your pew or your chair if you're at home, to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, or if you prefer, to choose a focal point for your gaze. Begin to focus on the pattern of your breathing. Simply breathing in and breathing out ever more deeply, a little bit more slowly. Just let yourself go into that rhythm that sustains your life. Breathing in and breathing out. Letting your mind go blank. As thoughts or images intrude, just breathe them out with your next breath. Into the peace and tranquility of your core. Let your mind's eye show you some of the people that have helped you build your life. You may see their hands, or perhaps their feet, perhaps their faces, or perhaps you simply have a sense of their loving efforts on your behalf. Let yourself rest in their presence and take a moment to let your heart be glad that you have this blessing, these people in your life. As you give thanks for all that you are able to do with them, let your spirits rise, coming back into a focus on your breathing. And still rested and at peace, begin to return your awareness to the here and now. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Shalom. Our community is bound together by our shared experiences and our care and concern for each other. We expand that each week as we share our joys and concerns. Some are personal and some are political, but we share them all with each other. We invite you now to share what is on your mind and in your heart as we light a candle for each one. If you have a personal candle at home, we invite you to light it as we light our last one here, speaking your thoughts aloud as you do so. We will begin with those that are in the basket. Bram would like to light a candle.
Basket.
Okay. Bram would like to light a candle of joy. Her joy was doing the pet blessing and memorial with Reverend Julia yesterday, and she extends her thanks to all of you who came. And if you have had an occasion to check your email in the last 24 hours, you can join them by watching the service online. There should be a link in your email to it. In a moment, if you have joys or concerns to share here in the sanctuary, I will ask you to raise your hand and Dave will bring the mic around. But before we do that, I would like to share both a joy and a concern myself. I have had yet another brother-in-law die this past week. Yes, both my husband's brothers, both unexpected, etc. And so, for all those who are mourning, John Pierce, we light this candle. And then I have a joy. Right now, my son and future son-in-law are about to touch down within a half an hour at the Albuquerque airport. They will be visiting me this coming week, and on Friday I will do their wedding over at the Elena Gallegos open space at the foothills of the mountains. So if anybody does those, pray for good weather kinds of things, Friday around 2 o'clock, we would like not high winds, no rain, and I don't care if it's clouds or sunshine, but comfortable temperature for the event, to which I am very much looking forward. So thank you for your support with both of those things. Are there others who have joys or concerns?
I'm just happy.
Well, that's good.
That's great.
Oh, thank you.
I have a new bicycle.
And you're right.
And I want to mention my sister who's in the hospital. She had a knee replacement, and she was supposed to come home the next day, and she's still there. It's been 3 days now. They can't keep her blood pressure down. So just be having thoughts of her.
On Thursday, Sarah and I are flying up to Boise to pick up Haley, Gabe, and most importantly, our new grandbaby, Karen.
I hate to make it a downer, but I wish I'd been at the pet thing yesterday because I have a very sick dog who I don't think is going to be around much longer, and it's been pretty hard for the last year.
Anyone or anything else? Then Dave will light one last candle for all those things that we all still hold in the privacy of our own hearts and minds. We light this red candle for the victims of racial violence, for those victimized by systemic racism, for those victimized by racial oppression, for those victimized by violence that is too often lethal. We let this light shine to illuminate their reality and inspire healthy relationships the whole world over. Shalom. And now I invite Bram to share our animal ministry moment with us.
This first poem I read yesterday at the blessing, this copy's a little small, so I might not look up too much. But it's for the pain patients in my group and their pain angels, their pets. As we lay in bed, our pain never ending, we look to our angels who lay so close, those special to us. Our lives often spending in tears from pain, we beg to be gone. On days when the pain isn't so bad, we play with our angels, returning their love that has no limit. It's never ending, their love. We manage a smile, a chuckle or two, ever thankful for their love, that's always a gift, asking nothing from us but a pat on the head, maybe a treat they know they'll get, especially from us, for their unwavering loyalty and love, our beloved pets. Our angels, they come in many sizes and shapes. We really don't care, why do some? To us they are perfect from their nose to their tail. They may bring a toy from their bed, where they never sleep, as our bed is their bed. Why can't some see? We gladly share our pillow, our bed. We don't care, you see. Our angels we love very deeply with each passing day. On a day fraught with pain, they know it's their job to snuggle so close, to lay and protect us when our tears begin falling. Their sweet little faces, they get right next to us, letting us know they'll never leave us. You see, they are a precious gift, an angel from God. We give all we have to keep them near, for you see they share a love not understood by some humans. So what we believe, any unkind word from you matters, not, you see, these critters. These angels are ours to care for till they cross the rainbow bridge. Now, a little change in mood. This is an old one that I did. I think this is the first one I did years ago in 2011, and I thought the new people might appreciate it. It's a little kitty, and it's called I Could Pee on This. Her new sweater doesn't smell of me. I could pee on that. She's gone out for the day and left her laptop on the counter. I could pee on that. Her new boyfriend just pushed my head away. I could pee on him. She's ignoring me, ignoring her. I could pee on everywhere, I'm sorry. She's making up for it by putting me on her lap. I could pee on this. I could pee on this.
I gotta tell you that sometimes the animal ministry moment is a really hard act to follow. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't have a cat right now. I have a dog and a brand new rug that's really pretty in my bedroom. And I have watched her do that wormy squirmy, rub your back into it thing to make it smell like her. Yeah, they do that. So, today is our kickoff, Stewardship Sunday, and I want to share what I think is perhaps a trifle unusual image of stewardship at its best with us. Enter the Amish community. Now, as you may know, the Amish are an agricultural community. They are also their own brand of Christians who believe in living the values they hold in everything that they do. Now, one of the things that an agricultural community needs is barns. And when the Amish build a barn, they do it in ways that intentionally enable them to put their faith into practice. Barn raisings, and that's what you call it, you raise a barn. Barn raisings require organization, supplies, and labor. They are typically led by one or two Amish engineers, not engineers with college degrees, but people with practical experience and know-how. They lay out the plans for the barn and assure that the materials are available. Supplies and livestock may be donated by fellow church members. All labor is contributed for free as well. The Amish know that they may be in need of the community's help themselves at some point in time. Typically, the blocks and cement used in the foundation are laid before the day of the actual barn raising, which allows them time to dry and set. The day of the barn raising, the men arrive early. The master organizes men and instructs them on their jobs, overseeing the whole event. Now, despite the common belief that the Amish do the whole job in a single day, it may actually take a week or more from start to finish. There are typically a good bit of preparations to be done beforehand as well. However, the wood frame of the structure does usually go up in one day. This is the part that we see in the movies and on TV. Out of nothing but a pile of lumber, a barn magically appears, or at least its outline against the sky. Now the women are helping by preparing meals. This is a huge undertaking. There are a lot of people there, and the workers are understandably really hungry. A common menu would be a huge amount of fried chicken and mashed potatoes with vegetables and side dishes of all sorts. And then there are the pies. The Amish are really big on pies and cakes and other fruit-based sweet dishes for dessert. Youth and children participate as well. Older children help with the basic work, learning skills for the future. Younger children enjoy well-supervised play, safely away from the danger of errant tools and flying nails. Hundreds of people typically attend, either as workers, supporters, or observers. And those observers count because they are the builders of the future. Now, a barn raising is the most well-known example of what the Amish call frolics. The Amish take pleasure from participating in joint cooperative work projects, both from the social aspect as well as from the deeper sense of satisfaction in seeing tangible results of one's labor. "We look forward to barn raisings," said one Amish man. "There are so many helping, no one has to work too hard. And we get in a good visit." The Amish also feel a deep sense of security in knowing that the community they are part of will return the favor if they ever find themselves in need. This is an example of stewardship at its best. The dictionary defines stewardship very simply as the job of supervising or taking care of something, such as an organization or a property. Clearly, stewardship is a big responsibility. We don't need a barn raised here on our property in Rio Rancho. When we talk about stewardship, we're talking about taking care of both our organization and our existing building and land. And unlike the Amish, we can't call on 100 people to get the job done in a day. But just like them, it takes all of us to do all of the work of stewardship. So I would like to be able to discuss stewardship as the frolic of the year that we all look forward to, a time of community, affirmation, and just plain fun. A bit later in the service, I will explain what I have in mind for that, because I know that that's a challenge for us. Few among us are of a mind to frolic where funding is concerned. And for us, stewardship is about funding. It's also about other things too, which we will continue to explore together. So for now, let that image of the Amish frolic soak into your minds. What? I can't hear you. No. I will tell you what
Okay.
the offering.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see.
Gifts of love and commitment, middle of the page.
Oh, gifts of, okay. Your gifts of love and commitment mean a lot to us. We rely on each other to fill the gaps we cannot fill alone, to build the community we long for, and to fund the necessities of our life together. For all of your gifts of every kind, time, talent, and treasure, we thank you. And we will sing from chorus 402, From You I Receive.
And we don't need to stand for this one. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Thank you. And what I could see that most of you could not was that Adia came charging out of that back room when we started singing, because she loves to sing. Only she only made it here in time for like the last word, so she was a little disappointed. However, would you please take your hymnal and open in the back to number 588. And I'm going to ask us to stand as we are able. And join me in this responsive reading. I will read the boldface type, and David will lead you in the response with the italic type. Is not this the fast I choose?
To loose the bonds of injustice, to undo the bonds of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke.
Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, and bring the homeless poor into your house? When you see them naked, to cover them, and not to hide yourself from your own kin?
Then shall your light break forth like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up quickly.
If you remove the yoke from among you, the pointing of the finger, the speaking of evil, if you offer your food to the hungry and satisfy the needs of the afflicted, you shall be like a watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Thank you. Please be seated. I wanted us to read that because it gives us such a wonderful depiction of a healthy community, where when people are in need, people move in to take care of them. So, a few minutes ago, I gave us the short version of the dictionary definition of stewardship. Here is the full definition. Stewardship is an ethic that embodies the responsible planning and management of resources. The concepts of stewardship can be applied to the environment and nature, economics, health, property, information, theology, and cultural resources, along with many more things. Now, a definition of stewardship for children could simply read, stewardship means to take care of things. It means to be fair and to share so that everyone has what they need. Now, no matter which definition you prefer to work with, the end result is going to be the same. A steward is a person who takes care of something. Stewardship is an attitude and a practice that applies to all of us. Sometimes we're better stewards of our resources than others. A lot depends on the circumstances and the context in which we are exercising our stewardship. That is true for us as individuals, and it's also true for us as a congregation. And while stewardship has a lot of specific criteria and structure and ethics to it, according to the Amish, as you heard, it can also be rip-roaring fun. I'm willing to bet that very few of us have ever had that kind of experience with stewardship. Show of hands. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, one, okay. Anybody here ever participated in an Amish barn raising? No, me either. But it sounds wonderful. A whole lot of work, no matter which side of their gender-specific divide you're on, but still, the community working together. In most churches, including this one in previous years, stewardship season is, if people are honest, the least popular season of the year. We worry. We worry about scarcity. We worry about alienating people. We worry about hurting people's feelings. We don't want people feeling judged for the quantity of their contribution. We don't want people feeling like all we want them for is their money. The truth is, we need everyone in whatever capacity they are able to participate. We need people to be clear and direct about their personal financial stewardship and our congregation. We can't be responsible as a congregation without knowing what our resources are. This applies to all aspects of our life together. We are stewards of our time, of our skills, and of our money. We can't make do with only money, or only skills, or only time. They are closely woven together, and we need all three. Now, as Unitarian Universalists who promote and affirm 7 principles and rely on 6 sources, stewardship is very important to us. Stewardship is how we act out our beliefs. And in an effort not to repeat myself too often, I'm going to use the word stewardship to refer to our financial contributions, at least for the rest of this morning. But every time you hear it, please know that your time and skills or talents and abilities are also included under that heading. Think of the word stewardship as a kind of shorthand. We are like the Amish in that pooling our resources is what enables this community to exist. Stewardship is what pays our bills and keeps this roof over our heads. When we write to members of Congress to applaud or condemn their actions, we are exercising stewardship. Stewardship of our own time, our energy, and sometimes even a little money for a stamp or a contribution. Our stewardship in what appears to be these small ways enables us to act on our principles. It's also what enables us to build little free libraries for children and open our labyrinths to the public for their spiritual practice. Stewardship is what gets food to Storehouse West and papers to Rio the dog. And believe me, that household is very dependent on our stewardship. You wouldn't want to be there if nobody was feeling stewardly. It's what the members of all of our committees are practicing when they show up at their regularly scheduled meetings. Stewardship is a major factor in our adoption of the Rio Rancho Feed the Kids program. Collecting donations, scheduling time to pack the backpack bags, and deliver them to the schools. All of that requires stewardship of time, energy, and money. Now, as you can see, or hear, both, we have a lot of really good things going on here as a result of our ethic of stewardship. And yet, it is still often hard for us to talk about it. Culturally, we have all learned that money is not something people talk about in polite conversation, especially not the particulars of money. So we're offering you a special opportunity to discuss stewardship as a practice, not in dollar amounts, but in regard to the meaning that it adds to your life. Here's how it's going to work. And in a minute, I'm going to drag Adia out of her hiding spot because she has agreed to help me show you what we're going to do. But let me tell you about it first. Our theme this year for stewardship is this: telling our story of community, hope, and action. Now, several people have already agreed to tell you their stories this morning. You will hear about what motivates them and what it means to them to be a steward here at UUWC. And then I will open the floor and bring the mic to anyone else who would like to share their story. So that means you, any of you, all of you, members, friends, first-time visitors, it all counts. But we're not stopping there. We are going to create, not a barn, but a storyline. And this is where Adia will help us later. It's going to go up over our heads eventually. You will be able to take one of these pieces of colored, it's heavier than paper, but I don't know what its proper name is, so we'll just go with colored paper, and make a Stewardship story flag from it. Here's the thing, I'm asking you to take home one of these. You get to pick your own color. I've got pretty much every color in the rainbow on the table, and I have more as backups, because if y'all want purple, I'm not sure I'd have quite enough, but close. Anyway, you pick the color you want. Now here's the challenge, because this is like homework. I need you to take this home. If you would like to cut it into a fancy shape, you may do so. That's completely your call. If you want to leave it as a big square, you can do that too. On it, you are invited to put whatever decorations you would like, of any kind. You can glue whatever you want on this to make it fancy, eye-catching, whatever. Or if you're artistic, you can illustrate stuff, you can draw designs as a border. And if you are a person who likes to keep things simple, you can just leave it plain. But do whatever suits you. And on it, this one says, My Stewardship Story. Now, you can steal my title, and that's okay. But you need to tell your own story. It could be a simple sentence, a couple of lines. You can write multiple paragraphs. There's lots of room, and it's got 2 sides. Seriously, because some of us really like to write. And if you have a story or a thought or whatever that you would like to share as what motivates you to participate in our stewardship campaign, which is kind of a word I don't like, but it's the proper word, so we'll use it. What motivates you to participate in stewardship here, and what meaning does this have for you? What does it mean to you that we need you in this way? And ultimately, we are going to be, and again, Adia and I will show you later, we are going to be clipping these to this lovely, ta-da, this is my Vanna White moment, everybody. This lovely, almost silky, slightly iridescent white cord, which when no one's looking, I will be climbing up on ladders and fixing to the hooks across our ceiling. So that as we move through our October month of stewardship, we will have a visual, we will be creating together a big long storyline of our stewardship stories. It will be colorful. It could be red, whatever. But we're going to do this thing together because I think it sounds like fun, and you all hired me, so you're stuck with it. However, so you want to take it home and write down whatever part of your story you would like to share. Decorate it if you want to, in any way you want to. Here's the hard part. Bring it back next week. I will put it in the newsletter and all that kind of stuff. I will also have spare stuff next week, so if you forget it, you can just jot something down and still participate. But seriously, if you put time and effort into something, you want it to go up in its creative form. So bring it back next week. And then we will be using these amazing pink clips to clip each story flag to our cord. And we will create this huge long story together ourselves. So that's what we're up to. We were doing this because first, we're going to learn more about each other's stories, which will help us feel more connected to each other and build a stronger community. And it also will help us at the same time that it builds community and we do it together. Because each flag is its own individual expression, it will also enhance our independence and individuality as we get to know each other in these unique ways better. So, it looks like Adia is returning on her own, so let us show you how this is going to work, and then, as soon as Adia has helped me with this, Dave is going to share a little bit of his story with you, and then Kathy, and then we will pass the mic. So Adia, can you come up here and help me now? Thank you. Okay, first question. What color paper do you want?
I want red.
You want red. What color crayon would you like?
I want pink.
Pink. Oh, wow. Look what we've got. Bright pink. Okay. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be hard to see the pink on the red, but we can still do it, okay? All right, so we're going to write your name. Do you want to write, or do you want to tell me what letters and I'll write them?
I want want A,
A.
I.
A. Okay, and then comes what? It's right here on your name
I.
tag. D.
B,
Yep, and then the I. Yep, and then one more. One more A, huh? Adia. Your name begins and ends with the exact same letter. Now, can you see the pink on that red? It's like a secret because nobody else can see it. But you know what? This is the part I need your help with. You stay right there. Now, hold on to this. And Elliot, can I ask you to take one end? Okay, now, here. We are gonna, can you make that clip go right on that? Almost, you got it, right? Good girl. Okay, so, this is what we're going to be creating, and we might even have multiple rows if you all decide to use a whole piece of paper. Thank you, Adia, that was very helpful. I appreciate it. Do you want to take your name back with you? Yeah? All right, you can take that home with you. And thank you. Maybe you're on.
So what does stewardship mean to me? Well, and what does this church and this community mean to me? When I first came here, I was looking for spirituality. I was looking for a God of some sort, or an understanding of what power, higher power in the universe was running things. I had given up on all kinds of religious experiences that I'd had before. And I found that there were a lot of people that had a lot of interesting experiences and were willing to share them. And I felt a sense of community, and that kept me coming back. And as I've been here longer and longer, I've only been here a couple of years, but I began to see something else. I see how many people give money, how many people give their time, and how many people give their talents selflessly. It's kind of amazing to me. And that inspires me to try to do better as a steward myself, to give a little more, to spend a little more time. And I realize that all of this effort makes us a community. When each of us individually gives, at least my experience is that I feel a little better. I have a sense of serenity. I have a sense of self-worth, and the undefinable feeling of peace. And life just seems a little better. Whatever it is, I give a little of this and a little of that. And I notice that as we all work together and do things, we are taking care of this church or this congregation, but we're taking care of ourselves because we feel better when we do good things, and we are helping each other. And so we all benefit, and we're building a stronger community. And that is really great because we can grow. We can do more things the stronger we get. We can attract more people. This congregation, I believe, will grow in numbers by attraction rather than promotion. What we have and what we experience will shine like a light, and people will be drawn to it. And the stronger we get, the better stewards we become, the more we can do for our community. And we can be better stewards for the community and the world as a whole.
Thanks, Dave. Kathy has also volunteered to share with us. And then I will be armed with a mic and dangerous. You can take your mask off. Kathy.
Thank you. Of course, my hearing aids will come out. They fall on the floor, I'll pick them up.
Okay.
Okay, well, I don't know, Dave, I don't think I can follow that very well. I mean, I agree with everything Dave just said, that was well said, it really was. For me, it's been a journey, as I suspect for many of us, it's been over our life. And I started out being baptized at age 16 in the Presbyterian church, after all my boyfriend went there, which was the important thing. But 2 years later, my dad died with totally unexpected. And I hated God. I blamed God. And I kept with that for a lot of years, Finally, I thought, well, being angry isn't helping me any. So I became an atheist. And that worked for a while. Then an agnostic. And finally, I reached the place where I think I've wanted to be all along, which is spiritual. And I have had a few experiences. One that truly, truly changed me was when I was in Asia. I went to a 6th century Buddhist temple, and they had the wheel of life there. And basically, that wheel shows different stages of the life forms, because they believe that when a person dies, they're going to come back. Are they going to come back as another person, an animal? You know what? And the stages get better. At least, I don't want to be a reptile, okay? So, I much prefer a horse or something. And so, it makes a difference on how you live your life as to how you're going to come back. And if you're going to come back. I'm not sure I believe that, but anyway. And the wheel of life also is a place to contemplate not only your life, but the life of your loved ones. And I remember thinking about my son. He was only about 18 at that time, just starting as a freshman down at New Mexico State. And I thought about him, and I thought, okay, what is it that I want Daniel to get out of life? And I said, love, justice, happiness. No money. Money, just isn't a part of that. And it was just an overwhelming feeling I got that was going to happen. That was the kind of life my son was going to lead. And he is. He actually is. He's an FBI agent, justice. He's healthy. He's got a family. And it was remarkable, the feeling I got, the peace I got from believing that those were the things that were going to happen for my son, the good things that were going to happen. And then I finally got to the Unitarian Church in Michigan. And I'd known about Unitarianism for a long time, but I'd never participated. But I always thought if I ever wanted to go back to some kind of, spiritual or religious situation, it would be Unitarian. And my sister was dying, which was why I had moved lock, stock, and barrel to Michigan for a year. And I found going to the Unitarian Church there was extremely important and helpful for me to handle the things that were going on in our lives. And it was a small community similar to this one. And it was a very open and welcoming community like this one. And it just, like I say, it made such a difference. I immediately got into a religious class. I immediately started volunteering to do things, like we made meals for a halfway house for people men that had come out of prison. And I immediately got involved in that. And it was just, it was such an open and welcoming community. And that's what this one is, to me. That's what all of you are, to me. Open, welcoming, important. And the things we do here, and social justice just jumps right out at me immediately, are just, I don't know how to put it in real words, I guess, because those are the things that I find super important and are super important to do, not just talk about. I don't know if Nancy remembers, but one of the first times I was here, she had challenged us to write down something on a piece of paper that we had never done, but that we wanted to do. And I wrote down march for a cause. I mean, I've supported causes, but I had never physically participated in one. And by golly, I did it. I was so excited. It was the, after the Parkland shooting. I don't quite remember the title, but it just meant so much that we were all out there saying, control the guns, get them under control. Lord knows we shouldn't be, but we are a gun society. And it felt to me like, okay, I finally have really let my voice be heard. And I have now participated in several other events like that. But you guys are just, like I said, so important to me, all of you. We all come in with our different types of lives, our different experiences, but we're willing to share them and to learn from each other. I have learned a lot about a variety of topics up here. The one I've not gotten into enough is the pagan, because it's at night. I'm not good at night, but I'm working on it now. I'm working on it. To come up through the drum circle, for example, and just expand my own knowledge and experiences. And I think that we are stewards, all of us, for social justice, for caring for each other, for caring for the larger community, and please, caring for the earth, which is in desperate need. And so that's what stewardship means to me, is participating for what I consider the good. Thanks.
Thank you very much, both of you. The rest of you are off the hook because the clock is dictating.
Oh dear.
No! I am absolutely thrilled that you each took the opportunity to say what you really wanted to say with such detail and such completion. I think it really helped all of us to get it better in touch with our own stories. So now I'm going to invite you all to pick up where they left off. Whoops. Yeah, I'd laugh too if I were that. Remember, please, to come up and get whatever color you would like. You can take extras if you think you'll need them, whether it's because you'll make a mistake or because you have chapters 1, 2, and 10. All of the above is okay. To write whatever you want to share of your own story as it pertains to stewardship and your connection here, and bring them back next week. So, I have one last thing to explain, and that is this. The title of this program today was Stewardship, or it is, Stewardship, Give It Up. And I will bet that most of you thought that that was a rather tactless way of referring to your money. Yes, I can tell by the laughter and some of your expressions that you did indeed think, seriously, what is she doing? However, no, think about this. There is another meaning in our culture to the phrase, give it up. It's what we do. We give it up for someone when we have enjoyed them, approve of them, and want to convey that. It's a round of applause. And Michelle Poyali, I'm like an old dog learning new tricks. There's a way to clap for a round of applause that some of you, yes, that's it. And you clap in a circle, so clap for yourselves. We all get a round of applause. Thank you so much, because I hope this has been meaningful, and I hope this has been fun, because we can frolic with stewardship just as well as the Amish can. It's going to look different, but that is okay. Now, if you would please open your hymnal and turn to number 349, let us stand as we are able. And we've only got 2 verses, so let's see what we can do with them, okay? We gather together in joyful thanksgiving, acclaiming creation whose bounty we share. Both sorrow and gladness we find now in our living. We sing a hymn of praise to the life that we bear. We gather together to join in the journey, confirming committing our passage to be a true affirmation in joy and tribulation, when bound to human care and hope, then we are free. Now, if you will pick up your bulletin and/or read the words on your screen, we will join together in the reading while Dave extinguishes our chalice. Gently we snuff the flame. Our chalice is silent in our sight. Yet within our hearts our spirits soar. Led by its light, we return to our world renewed, refreshed, and ready to embrace life again. Shalom. May you go forth in peace to be the best steward ever of your own life, in every aspect and every dimension. And may the world be a better place for that. Shalom and amen. Now, if we could face each other across the aisle, we will sing Go Now in Peace. We good? Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. And you all need to come up front and get a piece of colored paper.
All right, do you want to know?